think about, hold in your mind's eye what your dream partner would be, because we can't start journeying down a path that doesn't exist already in our consciousness, and that we don't give ourselves permission to let exist in our consciousness.
In doing that one thing and really getting clear on what is the person, who is the person that I would want to be with, it'll bring you one step closer to actually attracting that, because you listed it, you said it. It's like any other goal. Hey everybody, it's Bianca.
And this is Emilia.
And welcome to another episode of Evolve Ventures, where we are helping growth-minded humans evolve by breaking one limiting belief at a time. We hope you enjoyed the last episode, 192, How to Be Okay Letting Go of People. We took a different approach in that episode than we usually would in an episode like that. And honestly, I really love how that came out. You know, it wasn't as heavy as the title suggests. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet, or if you've kind of had a little bit of like an aversion to it, rest assured there will be value in the episode, and it's it's a goodie. It's a goodie.
For sure. A lighter energy than I think people would anticipate going to that one.
100%. For today, 193 Motivation Monday, how to find your dream partner. For anyone who knows me, for anybody who has ever heard me on social media, previous episodes, whatever, you could not have convinced me that I would have ended up in a relationship. Like, Emilia and I can't even begin to tell you the amount of conversations Emilia and I have had where genuinely I was crying and in tears of like, I'm gonna be alone forever. I'm never gonna find love. I'm never gonna find anything. And, you know, obviously that was a limiting belief. Obviously, you know, probably wasn't true. And recently, you know, I got into a new relationship and everything seems to be going really incredible so far and really aligned so far. And it's not something I ever thought was possible. And the reason that happened was because of what we're going to be diving into today. A few simple things that each and every single one of you can do, whether you're single, in a relationship, trying to better your relationship, whatever your situation is, for you to find or create your dream partner. So Emilia is the relationship expert. So take it away. What are some things that people can start to do that, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
It's okay. You're good.
That they probably wouldn't think.
Yeah, the love potion. So I love talking about love. And if you are a new listener, I appreciate what Bianca says. I struggle when I hear the word expert because I am learning every single day. And I have the honor of being able to learn so much about love and how that's evolving too. Because even the situationships that are out there, right? Like love looks very different. Partnership and general relationships look very different nowadays than they did way back when. And that's not ever going to stop. So though I do have a lot of awareness underneath my belt, I want to encourage an open mindset to what will be evolving. And I'm excited to share with every single one of you what not only I have done, but I've also helped others do so that they could attract their dream partner. So love potion number 9. No, this is number 1. What I want to encourage everyone to think about is, and this is always where I start because we have so many limiting beliefs around love and about partnerships. And I get it. It's because when we go through a breakup, it is the hardest thing to feel like we can bounce back from.
Awful.
Oh my gosh, is it ever? Our hearts are so vulnerable. It is so hard to feel like there is that person out there for you. And there's so much of a narrative of like, if it's not this person by this time, then you're screwed. right? There's always that like if then situation that we have running. So the number one thing that I always tell clients, and I told this to Bianca, is think about, hold in your mind's eye what your dream partner would be, because we can't start journeying down a path that doesn't exist already in our consciousness, and that we don't give ourselves permission to let exist in our consciousness. And what I mean by that, when we have our limiting beliefs just chattering up a storm, we don't even look at what path could even be open to us that we're just looking away from because we're so focused on the limiting beliefs. So when we hold the vision of what our dream partner would be, what is that dream life? What is the way in which they respond to you in a challenging situation? What is it that I try to stay away from like look like, but that's definitely a huge part of a lot of people's vision. What is their character? What do they value? What do they value without you in the picture? How are they treating other people? If you go out to a restaurant, what are they, like envision that and hold that in your mind's eye. And when you can do that, you realize to some extent or another, the next question, which is, now where do I have to be in order to attract it? So the number one thing as you envision this is realizing, yes, there's a pursuit in trying to find it, but it's way more on the attraction end. How can I become the dream partner that my dream partner would want to be with?
Yeah. So one of the things that Emilia had me do when, what was it? Oh, when we were coaching together, I don't know why that word just completely slipped from my mind.
What, coaching?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When we were coaching
that. It's not like I say that word every day. When Emilia and I were coaching together, and I coach with Emilia every single week, it's genuinely been one of the greatest gifts that I've ever gotten to have. Thanks, one of our coaching sessions, what we did was she walked me through this exercise of literally like even the problems that my dream partner would have, like what was their pain, what were their challenges, what were they like in their family, what was a family dynamic like. And it's so funny because I told my partner this. I was like, it literally was like it was ripped off the page. Like verbatim, even the appearance, even these little minute details that I didn't think I would ever get were there. And it really blew my mind because I was like, oh my God, I could have done this years ago.
Oh yeah.
I could have I don't know if I would have attracted my partner years ago, right? But I think divine timing is definitely a thing. But I could have done this exercise years ago and I would have felt a little bit more hopeful, a little bit more optimistic about the situation, that like what you envision you will attract because of who you become in the pursuit of that.
Yes.
So in me writing down all of the characteristics of what this person would be, I really had to ask the question, am I the type of person that this type of person would want to be with? Am I doing the things? What can I work on? What do I need to fix? What do I need to do better or do less of? And when I got really clear on that, when I was ready to go date again, I would literally, again, this might sound ridiculous, but like genuinely, it's not doing this that hurts people. Yeah. I would I would use the list that I wrote about the person that I would need to be with. And I would ask myself, this person that I'm on this date with, do they meet that? Are they that? Am I justifying? Am I making excuses? Am I saying that they are, even though I know they're kind of not? And I'm going to end up being hurt later on because of it. Like, hello, I already did that. I don't want to go down that game again. So in doing that one thing and really getting clear on who is the person that I would want to be with, it'll bring you one step closer to actually attracting that because you listed it, you said it. It's like any other goal. It's like if you just say the goal, I want more money, someone comes gives you $1, it's like, well, now you got more money. But if you say, by this date, I want X number of dollars and I want to make it this way, now you have a blueprint. Now you have a blueprint of how to go there and what it's going to look like.
And what's cool is that you get to be the artiste in all of this. And that's
The artist.
The artiste in this. And that is what I enjoy the most, because there's so much creativity that can happen, and where our limiting beliefs come in. Like you said, I wish I had done this sooner, right? And there is truth to, like, I don't think you could have attracted that partner at that time, because we are attracted to what we value in many ways.
And to who we are.
Exactly. And what we value creates who we are. And so when you're looking, or if you are desperately seeking or wanting your dream partner, what I find a lot of people doing is actually saying yes to things that don't align with that. For example, why a lot of us have been in situationships, non-committal relationships that will tolerate really poor treatment and just enough to kind of get by and not work through the loneliness that honestly to some degree can be inevitable when you're really being disciplined around this pursuit. And that's why we allow things in that is like, okay, it meets the very bare minimum. And instead of kind of taking that leap of faith, which is another thing that I'll bring into this episode that I talk a lot often with, and some of my clients like hate it when I say this, but it's like, what doors do you need to proactively close so that it can actually let the law of the door open for the one that's more aligned? Meaning, who's on the bench? Who's taking up space on your bench that you're talking to right now that you know you don't ever want to be in a long-term committed relationship? Your dream partner, it ain't them. Kick them off the bench. Close that door. And that's what one of the things that Bianca and I had talked about too. And B, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but you
Please.
were in a relationship that was hitting very basic needs. And it was like a situationship a little bit. And because there was that limiting belief had convinced you that if you meet these needs, then at least you can kind of have this level of fulfillment. And that was a story that you were telling yourself, but you wouldn't know it unless you tried. So I'm really proud of you for trying. And then you were humble enough to reflect upon the fact that, okay, my basic needs, they might be being met, but they're not bringing the level of fulfillment that I actually thought it would. And so I'm actually going to close this door. And I remember saying, like, if you keep that door open, if you keep that person on your bench, when you meet your wife and you know it's her, what are you going to have to say to that one person that has been on your bench? Oh, by the way, I've met my wife. You got to go. You know, like, no one wants to be in that situation. And ironically,
It's awful.
If you did not clear the bench, this door would not have opened for this dream relationship that you're in right now. 100%. And that's the thing that I'm so proud of you for, B, because so few people are willing to kick those people off the bench and honor themselves. I see that as like an honoring, because it's like, I had to do that too. It was like, all right, y'all, like, I need to clear this bench. That's when my husband will walk into my life. That's when my dream partner walks into my life. Ironically, talk about divine timing, literally within a week. Now, I'm not saying that happens with everyone. The timing is very different. But again, do you want to be a partner in the marketplace who has 3 people that you're kind of in a kind of situationship and expect that that's the energy that your dream partner is going to want? No, we just had a whole conversation about energy in one of our podcast episodes that was actually really powerful. You project a different level of confidence when you want someone so badly, you want your partner so badly, and you're not willing to settle for the bare minimum. That is a whole different type of vibe, you know, and that holding that level of confidence is I would say one of the rarest qualities nowadays that people aren't trying to do.
It really starts with, what are the beliefs that you have that are keeping you in the space that you're in? For me, it really was, oh my God, I'm going to be alone forever. And that allowed me to make some pretty bad decisions and some just not super great decisions. Not that they were bad. I got my needs met in the moment.
Yeah.
But it's not what I really needed. It's not what my heart needed. It's not what my future needed. And it was just so interesting. Like, I had ended that situationship. And I think it was like a month.
It was really quick. And I
It was
told you
like-
that would happen. It was really cool.
It was like a month.
Mhm.
And I just had this intuitive pull of like, go do this thing. It was downloading Hinge. I like never used to use dating apps. I was so against them. But I was like, I don't know. Something is pulling me. Something's pulling me. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Let's just try it. Same day. And then we started talking. And then Emilia and I went to Otis and had this entire conversation. And I was asking her questions. And I was, asking her about her and Alan. And it really aligned everything. So to wrap this up, 2 of the best things that you can do for yourself. Number 1, get really clear on what it is that you want. Mm-hmm. Who is the person that you know in your heart of hearts is what you need, is what you want, not what you're going to settle for, what you really truly want. Number 2, how can you become the person that can attract that kind of person? And number 3, who do you need to kind of let go of in order to get them, in order to attract them, in order to become the type of person that's going to attract them? If you can do those 3 steps, if you can really make an intentional effort to do that, guys, I guarantee you're going to find that person. I guarantee it. And if you're already in a relationship, maybe you and your partner can sit down and really think of what is it that you need from each other. Do that with each other. What are the behaviors that they're doing that you don't like? What can they do more of? What can they do less of? Can you become each other's dream partner?
Seriously. Yeah. And if that's something that you want more guidance in, Alan and I do relationship talks coaching, where we literally sit down with couples and ask those questions of like, how can we become more of each other's dream partner? Or how can we help support what those dreams are? My final takeaway for this episode would be really beautiful wrap up for our listeners.
Thank you.
And I don't think I said happy Monday, y'all, but happy Monday, y'all.
Emilia.
Goodness gracious. My final takeaway for our listeners, if I could give you all one thing, it has become so clear to me that when you look, you will find, it will find you. But when you are looking from a lens of not just who do I want to be with, but who do I want to grow with, that lens is cheat codes to attracting your dream partner, because they will be thinking the same thing. Who do I want to grow with? Relationships aren't just about being. Extraordinary relationships are about growing. So my episode suggestion on that is number 62, relationships and how they shape you.
Well said, my friend. Number 7, relationships, why you need standards. That goes deeper into what we were talking about today, which is actually creating that list and making those standards. It's an oldie, but still insanely valuable. So
In the top charts too.
100%.
Of all of our episodes.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Thank you so much to everybody. We hope this was helpful, and we will see you next time.
Bye everyone.